12 suspects arrested over the death of Arise News anchor. Well, the Nigerian police force paraded the 12 suspects arrested in connection with the armed robbery incident that led to the death of the staff in our sister station, Somtochukwu, Madwagu, and Barnabas Danlami, security guard at Unique Apartments, Kantakwe Extension, Abuja. Do we have videos to this? Yes, so let's quickly watch the video of where the 12 suspected culprits were actually arrested and, of course, handled. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Well, we can see that the suspect has been arrested, and different stories are coming out aside from the jumping, they not getting to them, but of course they are trying to rob the whole building and getting to the hospital and yet not giving not giving treatment or first aid to the wounded. Just very quickly to talk on this, I know this is the right move, but a lot of people, while during the times of releasing the CCTV footage of the house, some persons were asking that why does it take this much for Nigerians or the government to be swift in finding out those who who actually do wrong, or who actually the criminals actually. Some people, we have a lot of people. Okay, let's talk about the north, where we have the killings, the kidnapping, and all of that. And the question is, okay, just one person. It's not like they are trying to demean what it is, but like one person now is gone, and they are all out searching for who are these suspected criminals or criminals that actually caused the death of this young lady. And at the same time, there is a cry out in Benue State, there's a cry out in Kwara, there's a cry out in a lot of states asking for security, and yet nothing is being done. But here, this is a good move, but they're like, can't they do the same thing for this state having these issues? So I will start with you, Matthew. What do you think could be the problem? Why is it that some things, we tend to focus on some things and leave the other one? Okay, take for example, last week we were talking about the Calabar Coastal Road, and some persons were complaining about the usual road we take from Ibadan Express down to the east to Anambra State, to Enugu, and all of that. That road has been bad. The Bini Ore and the Asaba road has been pretty bad. But here we are constructing another road, leaving the old one to rot. So it's the same thing applying to here. We have something on ground already that's not been handled. But here we are, very quick to handle this one, the new one. So what do you think could be the problem? Or what's the solution moving forward?
Let me quickly tell you that, in my opinion, every issue should be given the priority it deserves. And for me, it is not out of place to get to the root of the issue that happened in Abuja. But let me quickly tell you at this point that, personally, I'm a very strong advocate that the governors should be given some level of security power to parade. You understand that going by the security architecture in Nigeria, the command and control of Nigerian security architecture do not give the governors the power to command the security architecture in their respective states. But I want to tell you that recently I'm a little bit worried because Mr. President came out recently to say that they are going to strengthen forest guards. And before he even said it personally, we have read how the federal government have given state governments directive or not to start recruiting forest guards between 2,000 and 5,000 personnel, depending on their financial capacity. And we understand that governors or state governments have alluded to the fact that as a result of policy of this government currently, that they get more money. So it's going to show that the money to even engage with forest guards is not a challenge. But I want to tell you that I'm a little bit disappointed in some states like Zamfara, Kwara, Katsina, even Kaduna because of Southern Kaduna, and Plateau, because these are the worst hit when it comes to this issue of insecurity occasioned by Fulani militias. I was expecting that they would jump at this issue of forest guard with the speed of light, because hence you are the one recruiting or engaging, maybe enlisting personnel, you will be the one that will deploy them. Because recently we had a situation where even the Zamfara state governor came out clearly to say that his capacity as a governor, that he has been able to acquire some level of technology that enables to know the movement and location of bandits. Then that the problem is that he doesn't have the power to command and control the security architecture. But understand that definitely the commissioner of police in the state is not answerable to the governor. The director of DSS in the state is not answerable to the governor, and all the security heads in a state are not answerable to the governor. But my own issue is, hence the federal government have come out clearly to give nod to this issue of forest guard.
Yeah.
Why are these state governors not jumping at it with speed of light? Because I think because we now have a shift from what we had in the past. Understand that under the last administration of Muhammadu Buhari, it was difficult to get the security arrangement at the state level to bear arm. Because we understand that for you to deploy arm at that level, even procure it, you need an extra certificate that normally comes from the office of the National Security Advisor. And that they could not get under the last administration of Muhammadu Buhari. We understand that the former governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, may still rest in peace, was always along ahead with them government. That if you could allow civilian JTN in the north to bear arm, what stops you from allowing Amateku? Of course, an agency of government that is created by Act of State Houses of Assembly in the southwestern part of the country. But my own major issue, like I told you, is why are we not seeing these state governors jumping at that offer of forest guard? Because as at the last count, I understand that it was on the news, that Enugu state government has started engaging personnel for that forest guard. So instead of, because what we see currently is a situation where you see bandits coming to dialogue, negotiate with some level of government, maybe at the level of local government and state government. I must say it's not acceptable, because as far as I'm concerned, the best approach to addressing this insecurity is for federal government, state government, and even local government to synergize, acquire monopoly of currency power, the bandits out of the hiding places, set them on and bring them to justice. Because that is what makes government ultimate. To answer your question directly, they should prioritize both the welfare and security of those places that are ravaged by insecurity, not leaving the one that happened in Abuja unattended to.
Very true. Thank you very much for that response. Femi Chacha, what are your opinions about the matter?
I really believe that we don't seem to have a national policy as far as insecurity is concerned. I'll give you good reasons. All governors are not on the same page as far as solving insecurity.
Yeah.
And that is why it looks as if when the National Security Advisor is making advances and making progress in certain states, it drives those bandits, those military from that state to neighboring states. Then the policy of the next state they are probably driven to probably accepts that they should negotiate with bandits. Then every of those efforts, I don't want to mention states, you see, if you understand the map of Nigeria, you understand how when they announced maybe like 2 months ago that they made progress, they bombed certain forests, and then all of a sudden you see that there is tickets of violence or attacks. And it's easy to read between them. Then all of a sudden, in few months' time, you hear a certain state that is next to saying that they are now negotiating with them. You now begin to, as a normal citizen, you now begin to ask yourself questions. We're expecting that once you see that they're making progress here, you're supposed to now, just like you said, set up your own forest guard, ensure that they don't penetrate. But no, that's not what happens. That's not what happens, because election is closer, and most of these politicians need some of these guys to also help perpetrate rubbish as far as winning election is concerned. So we don't have that cohesion. We don't have that national understanding on attacking insecurity, because honestly, that person you think is your enemy is someone else's brother. He's someone else's cousin. So once he crosses into the boundary of whoever think they have an affiliation, then they want to protect. Oh no, he's our brother. Let us find a way to negotiate. So if you ask me, I really still think that the National Security Advisor needs to still do a lot to get. Let's know governors that are on board as far as the idea of roasting and smoking out bandits is concerned, let's know those that do not agree. Let Nigerians now know, okay, so state does not agree. So if something happened in such states, we may not have reasons to feel bad, because it's the direct consequence of whatever the chief security officer or the governor wants for his state. Look, everyone has, look at the approach of El-Rufai to insecurity. Look at the approach of what's his name again, Uba Sani. Okay, so obviously it shows that each sitting governor, even though they don't have the state power to do it, but their ideology about solving insecurity goes a long way if they want to partner with the national security advisor, or they don't. So it's a big problem as far as I'm concerned. So when we are not on the same page as far as solving insecurity, especially of if the person is our brother or not, then we cannot achieve so much. We can't.
Well, that's quite deep. Well,
but the issue is, because personally I used to blame federal government, but since the federal government have come out clearly to say, okay, in a way we are divulging power. Since there is that complaint that you are the chief security officer of the state, talking about the governors, and you complain that you don't command the security architecture, okay, now have forest guard. So my question, I keep asking, why are the governors not jumping at it?
Forest guard.
So we need answer from the governors.
Because honestly, that will reduce and that will help a great lot, just by the explanation that Femi Chacha said, that when they are leaving this place, they are definitely going to the neighboring town. And that alone should tell them, the governors there, that they need to also protect every other town from the first town that was attacked. But anyways, like we say, we keep hoping that the level of insecurity will be dropping by the day, because it's becoming quite alarming. But in a way, I won't say we've been devoid of insecurity for some days, but maybe, just maybe, it's coming to a bit, like there's a bit of a reduction.
No. You see one thing, even if we have some days, maybe we didn't hear any news of attack, that does not mean all is uhuru, because if the arms they use is still in their possession, the society is not at peace. Yeah. So the only way you can feel relief is if there is a way the government can disarm them and mop up the arm.
Yeah, that's very true. Because the more they have it, the more they are planning to do something else. Well, anyway.